Yeah, I know, I've been slacking a bit recently. But hell, even I need a vacation to play games I actually enjoy without having to resort to reviewing them. But on my recent vacation, I bought quite a few NES games, and I think I've had enough of a break and need to get back into the swing of things. And to do that, I decided to check out something I used to play a lot as a kid, and somewhat fondly remembered. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout, which was a game to commemorate Bugs' 50th anniversary. Damn, that's an old rabbit. Anyway, Birthday Blowout has a simple premise. Bugs gets an invitation to a party, and the Looney Tunes villains don't appreciate it so much, so they attempt to stop him. That's about it, till the end of the game where you get the conclusion of the story. I'm just going to show it to you, because it's not even worth doing a spoiler alert over. There, that's the plot of the game. Simple. Playing as Bugs, you need to navigate through 24 stages, jumping over holes and avoiding enemies. The controls are your typical platformer controls of the era. You jump with A and swing Bugs' hammer with B. Now, the hammer can be a tricky weapon to use. There's a few reasons for this. There's a slight delay from the windup to the actual strike that you need to get used to, so you'll have to time your attacks to defeat your enemies without taking damage. In addition, although most enemies only require one hammer strike to fall, some of them, like the frogs, take up to 3 hits, and every time they're hit, they'll just be flown backwards with complete disregard for animation. In addition, if you are on top of an enemy and hit them, they'll go running off the screen. Yes, you can jump on most enemies without taking damage, and yes, you can strike them from above to have them freaking retreat off screen. This makes no sense. To give you a slight advantage, there is some serious leniency on enemy hitboxes. Take a look at this. Need I really say any more on the matter? Although you will be glad at this range, as some of the enemies are actually more dangerous when attacked. The gray soap cans will expel a hazardous bubble when destroyed, and the alarm clocks explode. Truthfully, you can easily get by without attacking them, but if you're the type of person that wants to destroy everything you encounter, you'll just want to be careful. There's a couple other nuances with the hammer. In the first stages, you'll see bushes. For some reason, you cannot attack while hiding behind these tall shrubs. I don't understand why. This makes the battles against Tweety a bit more dangerous, but you can learn to jump and attack as you're falling into the shrub to avoid getting stuck within no strike zone. In addition, you may notice that when you take damage, you'll see stars above Bugs. When you see these, you cannot attack. This is a strange design choice. It may be common for you to take damage from a mistimed hammer strike, then you just rush ahead to take advantage of the fairly lengthy invulnerability time. But once this ends, you can get hit again, without giving you a chance to properly defend yourself. This is actually mostly common against bosses. You have to be really careful that if you get hit, you give yourself enough room to recover, and use your hammer at least once before taking damage again. Really, bosses aren't too difficult. You'll encounter a boss in each stage in different forms. Some of them require only 3 hits to take down, other than, I think, Foghorn Leghorn and that little chicken that, for some reason, is trapped in the top right of the screen. In addition, the final battle against Taz changes things a bit, where you need to smack the footballs back at him. All the other bosses, such as Tweety and Elmer Fudd, only require 3 hits, and many of them will repeat with no change to their attack patterns. You will mostly see Daffy though, and you can't even defeat him. Daffy's battles only require you to navigate to the giant carrot to end the level. In essence, the simplicity of these bosses sums up the game. It's way too freaking easy. You have a generous life meter, and with the extended invulnerability time, you can technically get hit and run through a good chunk of the stage. Before most bosses that you'll actually have to fight, you'll find a heart power-up that completely replenishes your life. In addition, your life has 3 hearts, but each heart basically acts as 4 hit points. It'll change from red, to white, to black, to clear before finally disappearing. Most enemies only give Bugs 1 point of damage, but there are some exceptions, mostly against bosses. You can also find these fireball type enemies, and they'll always drop a lone heart, good for regenerating 1 full heart point. You could farm these if you want to fully recover Bugs' life, but even if you die, which may not happen often, 1-ups are frequent in bonus stages. I'll get to those shortly. There are a few power-ups that you can find. Other than the carrots, which are used as payment for the bonus stages, you can find a hammer, which supposedly increases your attack power, although since most enemies only take 1 hit, it feels pretty useless. There are also jump power-ups, which increases Bugs' jump height. Both the hammer and the jump power-ups last until Bugs takes damage, but even so, you can't really say that these items are extremely useful. In fact, they seem to be in areas that make no sense, but they do exist in the game. Before I move on to the bonus stages, you may have noticed that when collecting carrots, they'll turn into a Warner Brothers emblem. Once you do this, you can actually use these icons as platforms. It's pretty strange, but you'll learn how to collect carrots and use them as a platform in one leap. There will be times that you'll be forced to do this. Okay, so let's move on to the bonuses. After each stage, you'll be given one of two bonus games. In the first 3 levels of the world, you'll get the bingo game. In the 4th, you'll get the whack-a-mole style game. The bingo stage costs 10 carrots, and you'll be tasked to pick 5 random numbers. Get 3 in a row and you'll earn an extra life. Get 4 and you'll earn 5. I don't remember what 5 earns you, but I want to say 10 lives. As for the whack-a-mole, you spend 20 carrots and hit as many willies as you can. Yes, I know how dirty that sounds. The game will tell you on the bottom of the screen your current score and how many you need for an extra life. You can easily rack up 5 or 6 lives per game here. Now, you may think, well, why don't I just save my carrots for that whack-a-mole game? You can't. Sadly, you must spend all available carrots in each bonus game before the game allows you to continue to the next level. This game allows you to carry over your surplus carrots to the next stage. You might think that the random nature of the bingo game wouldn't allow for a ton of lives, but it's actually simpler than you might think. I'll put it this way. I kept track of all the lives I lost playing the game, because it was that simple. The answer was 10. All of them by falling in stupid areas because of the stiff controls or lack of screen scrolling. More on that next. But first, yes, I died 10 times. 3 itself and 4 because of that stupid ass bridge. I still ended the game with 93 lives. That's right, 93. I almost maxed out my live counter. And the game has 24 stages. That should say something. But let's get to the biggest problem of the game. The vertical scrolling. Yeah, it's not the enemies. It's the scrolling. For one, it's pretty choppy and it doesn't feel smooth at all. This is something that might make some people feel nauseous. Hell, even I felt weird after a while and you never really get used to it. But anyway, there are points where you have to climb up or down. The screen won't always scroll to show what's below you. So just like Mighty Number 9, you might make a blind leap of faith to find out it was a bad idea. Bad design here. The graphics of the game are pretty lackluster. I guess Kemco wasn't really known for graphically appealing games. The only other game I remember from Kemco from NES was Legend of the Ghost Lion. But this was released in September 1990, the same time frame as games such as Castlevania 3, Roller Games, Maniac Mansion, and in the following month, Caveman Games. Okay, so I guess we're worse in that time. The environments are somewhat bland, although I did enjoy the forest stage's leaves blowing in the wind. But as for enemy design, it's mediocre. There's very little detail, animation, and worst of all, there's very little variation. In every stage, you'll feel like you're fighting the same alarm clocks, walking hammers, and soap cans. Lame. At least the cutscenes in the opening screens and the ending look good. But wait, since when in the fucking world did Wile E. Coyote talk? Oh, no. This must be the fucking Twilight Zone. The music isn't much better. It loops quickly, and there's really nothing that will stick in your head. That's really all I need to say about the sound. Truthfully, Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout, or as the title screen says, Happy Birthday Bugs, feels only slightly higher in quality than an unlicensed NES game. I'm not talking about the semi-decent Codemaster stuff, like Ultimate Stuntman, or hell, even Linus Spacehead. Yeah, I have a newfound enjoyment of that game now that I know how to freaking continue. But no, I'm talking about the Color Dream shit. It's a game that just feels meh in all aspects. So overall, as much as I enjoyed the game as a kid, I can't say I enjoyed it as much recently. Final score? We're going to go right down the middle here and give it a 5 out of 10. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.